I'm at the point in my life where I don't care about women. And I'm not saying this like, oh, screw them. No, that's not the context of what I'm saying. God bless women. You know, they're very important. But what I'm trying to say is a lot of men depend on a woman's validation and acceptance to feel good about themselves as men. And that used to be me. But then I realized how dumb that is. Like, you got to get that from yourself by putting in work every single day and trying to get past your struggles. And now that I've accepted this and I've done this for a couple of years now, it completely has detached the need to have women in my life. You know, like trying to go out on dates and meet new, like it doesn't matter to me anymore. I'm detached from it. I'm very focused on my life, and I'm not against, like, if I meet someone in public and we hit it off, that's cool. But if not, I'm not tripping about it. I'm cool. And people might think I'm weird. People are like, oh, I bet you talk to girls and this and that. I'm like, no, bro, my phone's dry and I like it like that. Like, I'm focused on my business. I'm focused on being the best I can be, getting closer to God. If I meet someone, I meet someone. But I'm, like I said, I think that's the key, is just being detached and just live your life. And eventually, I think you attract the right people for you. And if not, then that's out of my control. So yeah, that's how I feel in regards to women, at least me interacting with them. I don't necessarily need it anymore. And I think women should feel the same way about men. But that's just me. I'm at the point.
We got plenty of content out there where women are saying that this essentially decenter men where that's not your focus, in your life. And when I come across content like that, I'm absolutely fine. I think more men need to be just like this. Your purpose has to come first. That drive that keeps you going, it can't be a woman. And most of us have been default to this or been programmed like this, and we put women on this pedestal. We make their validation the most important thing in our life, and we know where that ends up leading. But before we get into that, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss new uploads. So I'm going to get straight into this. This is one of the most important sort of takes. When we validate ourselves, when we get our self-worth through the lens of a woman, whoever she could be a great woman or not. When that is the judge of who we are in our character, we put so much onus and pressure on them and what they think, what they like, that we become completely subservient to them. We put them in that very first primary position in our lives. And that makes absolutely no sense to do when it should be you. You should be the driving factor. You should be the most important person in your life until you have kids. But when you put them on that pedestal, they're responsible for your own happiness. And as men, we know where that leads. Your first primary responsibility to make whoever's supposed to make you happy should be you. You're supposed to take care of yourself for your partner and vice versa. Or leave them alone completely. I'm saying leave women alone completely until you master yourself, until your day cannot be ruined by a text message. It cannot be ruined by a look or the lack of a look or the lack of a response. When women, I sometimes treat women as being, you're unknowable. Right? You can't be accurately predicted to the point where it makes much sense for me to predict. No, when I'm drawing my position and where I'm going and how I feel off a woman, off anyone else in life, I'm not in the driver's seat. Most men, when they get outside of that zone and they can appreciate themselves for the work they put in, there is your peace. That's where it lies. Often, this will come across as looked at negatively by a lot of women because it makes it seem like, well, you don't care about us, or you just want to X women out of your life. No, you have your place, you have your level of importance, but you can't occupy the primary position. When men say that, it seems harsh. When men say, yeah, a woman should probably be fourth in terms of importance in your life, we say this because the default programming that we're sort of fighting against tells you this is, that the happy wife, happy life. This conversation I'll have with my mom, and she's always trying to insert that. And I don't begrudge her for it. I just know that's from a different generation where this was what made sense to them. The way we've sort of see our lives unfold, we understand as men when it's always ran through your life has ran through a woman, it's chaos. And it's not to say there's something wrong with her. It's just she's not good enough at being herself that she also has time to be you. When you take some of that authority and power back, you get a real clarity and you look at yourself and say, yeah, whether or not I like myself, whether or not I'm proud of myself, it's all on me. There's real power in that. There's in taking that authority and put it upon yourself. That's when you find that drive to make yourself better. It's easy to say, if I'm inputting X, I know I'm getting Y. It's because I'm on both ends of this equation. It's a difficult thing for a lot of us to do because we're fighting that programming. We're fighting what's telling us you got to put them first. You got to be concerned with what she's feeling. When you know all I can do is say my position, say my point, and how you react is on you. I've done my best and I can withdraw from this conversation or withdraw from this relationship or withdraw from this friendship. There's real solace in that. There's real peace in that. A lot of us in 2026 need to adopt some of what he's talking about. It's sometimes it's fine taking a break. I know some of us we're desirous of them, where our lust becomes one of the biggest driving factors that make us lose our mind or lose our position. You can have everything going for you, and your lust for a woman will, take your focus away. Will make you make I don't even call them mistakes. Like if you for those of you that play chess, it's a blunder. It's a mistake that can cost you the game. That is what our desire for women often leads us towards. You'll sacrifice things that took you years to build. You retard yourself with momentum that you've got going forward because you just want this one thing, and that is the most important thing in the world to you. How? This person that just came across because you physically like the way they look or you like the way they make you feel, you should be in charge of that. You should be in control of that. There's nothing or no one on this planet that should have more power over your decision making than you. But again, we're taught differently. And as men, it sometimes takes us 30, 40, 50 years to realize this. And I'm always this ecstatic when I see younger men realizing this very early. It's the same thing when these spaces were first created online, when men got together and were able to say and talk about their experience with women and talk about the same mistakes we're making. Why we're all doing the same thing. Why do we all have this scarcity mindset that this woman is the only one out there? So I've got to draw my happiness. I've got to hang on every word she says. And whether or not she means it or not, I'm now subject to whatever whims are happening with her. That's why men after divorce, when they go through their period and they come out on the side stronger and they've rebuilt themselves, and now they look at themselves and say, I'm the most important person in my life. I draw my worthiness by my own deed and action. That's where they find peace. It's not that the house is quiet. They don't mind that. It's not that they don't have interaction with other people. They just know at the end of the day who's responsible for their lives. That is what men should strive for. It's not like he said that you have to X these people out. You have to X women out your life. You just know right now the priority is what I want to do, how I want to do it, and how I value myself. It has to start there. If we could, we do ourselves a lot. We would do ourselves a favor if we taught young men this from the word go, rather than having society, rather than having us teach them that you got to go out here, you got to get the chicks, you got to do this, you got. If we say no, you have to find what's important to you and hold fast to that thing, move forward with that thing in mind, and always be true to that. I think probably have fewer of the detrimental relationships we see in society. Probably have fewer single parent households. We'd have fewer broken hearts for sure. We'd have, I think, more women that respected men. You tend to see that when men take a step back and control themselves, they can easily say no to lust. It's harder for you to be swayed just by the physical. And often men can attest when you come out there, sometimes that physical is all the play that some women have. You can notice, you can vet properly. You can say, oh, I can see what's happening here. This isn't good for me. This isn't something that I want to attach myself to. Rather than you gave into your lust and now you're attached to someone for the rest of your life that you said, I had no intention of this. How did this happen? I think, again, when we're in the driver's seat, how lives become more peaceful. If you got something to add to that, you think I'm off base somewhere, let me know down in the comments. If you see videos on your screen right now, take a look at those. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos, of course. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you liking this content, I think you should. I'll see you in the next one.